Going to go now to Alan Dershowitz, our resident attorney and expert. We've got this raid. Sir, it's good to have you on at Mar-a-Lago, the FBI at Mar-a-Lago. Your top line thoughts. We're trying to still piece together what this is exactly about.
Anybody, unless they can't get the information through subpoenas and other lawful methods. The raid is supposed to be a last resort. But this administration has used the weaponization of the justice system against its political enemies. It's arrested people, denied them bail, put them in handcuffs, used all kinds of techniques that are not usually applied to American citizens. And I just hope this raid has a justification. If it doesn't have a justification, the material seized in it will be suppressed.
Any indications on your end what this is about, or are you just as blindsided as everybody else? We didn't see this coming.
Well, I suspect it has to do with some investigations leading toward Donald Trump and some of his associates. But again, the law is clear. You don't engage in a raid unless you've exhausted all the other remedies, unless you believe that the person raided will destroy the evidence. Raids are not a first recourse in America. They're a last recourse. And so the government will have to show a court eventually that they exhausted all other possibilities, or they had a reasonable basis for believing that the evidence would be destroyed if it was sought in the normal legal course of events through subpoena. Raids are a last resort. But today, in many instances, it's being used as a first resort. The same thing is true with they're supposed to be last resorts. You write a letter to the lawyer saying, please show up in front of a judge, and that's the way it usually works. But in order to get on television, they have a lot of these raids where people are arrested, put in handcuffs, sometimes put in leg shackles, bail denied. Presumption still applies, but it's applied only in theory, but not in practice.
Understood. Yeah, President Trump releasing quite a lengthy statement on Truth Social. Here's part of it. After working and cooperating with the relevant government agencies, this unannounced raid on my home was not necessary or appropriate. It is prosecutorial misconduct, the weaponization of the justice system, and an attack by radical left Democrats who desperately don't want me to run for president in 2024. Just wrapping it up, he basically says what you were indicating there, that this is this is something that was not necessary, that he was cooperating. You said this should be a last resort. Maybe it wasn't, according to the president.
Yes, there's evidence that we're not. This is improper and it is misconduct. And we have to find out what the facts are, but we have to make sure that the shoe fits on the other foot, that we want to make sure that what's being done here is something that Democrats would not oppose if it were being done to Democratic operatives as well. I don't think it passes.
Because the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away.